Lesson number 3. In this lesson, AKERAS will talk about mind squares. So make sure don't step on certain squares so you don't blow up. Like we know, this saying goes that beginners or amateurs, they fight for pieces, for material, and masters, grandmasters, they fight for squares. So now Alcaraz now will explain about mind squares, what it is and what you need to do.
Hello everyone. Today I will be explaining about mind squares. Many of you who doesn't know what mind squares is? So it's usually a single pair of squares that correspond, and if you step on them you blow up or get into zugzwang. Like the board doesn't blow up actually, so you step into zugzwang. Here, this is the first example. The mind squares are B6 and C4. I have marked them. And actually, I found a mistake in the book, because if black goes king D6, then king C4, and that is a mind square. But let's say, like in the book, like mind squares, like in the example, the mind squares are B6 and C4, and the position is equal as long as the kings are going to be moving on B7, C7, and A7, and white B3, C3, and D3. If they go farther away, then black or white can step on one of these mind squares, and if the king doesn't step on another mind square, then it's okay. But basically the kings will just shuffle and it will be a draw. Of course, of king B6, king C4. So this was the first example.
So and what will happen? Continue. First, what will happen? Step. This is for beginners. Okay, and now black to move, and
he needs to move back
away, and you win the pawn, and you win the game.
And then it's game over.
Okay.
Here.
So it's very important not to step on this. Just keep moving back and forward. Show what they need to do.
Here.
This is more for beginners.
Best would be like just move. Like keep moving, and that both kings would always have control of B6 and C4, because like if one king goes away, then here, and then he can't step on the mind square and win.
Yes. Okay, next.
Now in this position, the mind squares are C5 and E6, and none of the opponents, like either black or white, will not want to step on the mind squares.
Whoever steps on this mind square will lose.
First.
Right? Yeah.
So now in this position, white will play king F6 with the idea of playing king E7 and forcing black to step on a mind square to defend the pawn. If king to C7 and king E6 also wins, and then he can step on E6. Now king B5 trying to do the same, but white is first by one tempo, and now he attacks the pawn. Now obviously black has to defend. If he moves here, well, then the king takes and defends the white pawn. So after king C5 defending, but he stepped on a mind square, if you noticed. And then white steps on the mind square, but he steps second. And now black is in zugzwang. No matter where he moves, the pawn will be captured, and then the king will move to the side, either here or here, and will promote the pawn.
So what black's supposed to do to keep the draw?
Here it was losing from the very beginning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now this was from this is a study. Like, here, it's not very easy to spot the mind squares. Obviously, you can see that like d6 should be 1, and that is correct. But there are more, like b5 is a mind square, and d4 is also a mind square.
For whom? For white?
Yeah, for white.
Okay.
Because and white goal is to get to d6. Now it's black to move, so he has to retreat. Now the goal is start going there when the king is far away, like forcing the king to go back here. Now king here, and now you see if white plays king here to d4, black goes king b5, and the position is the position is actually, if you go like this, here then it might be a draw, but if you go like this, and you're actually losing. So it's important not to step on the d4 mind square and move king d3. Now, if black steps here, then you on the mind square you play king d4. Again, black is trying not to step on it, but we forced him. And now you step on the mind square. It's not immediate loss of material, but he has to move away from attacking the c5 pawn. Then you go here, he takes it, and you come, and now you will simply capture the pawn and move with your king away here or here and promote your pawn. And from the very beginning, there was no draw. Now, here you see the mind squares. This was a game for Alekine against Yates, and the mind squares are e6 and d4, but in this game they will change. After king d3, again these are the mind squares, and you play e4, and he has to play f4, otherwise it's bad for him. And now when you see the pawns moved and the mind squares changed. Now the mind squares, because this pawn is here, the mind squares are e5 and f3. But if there would be no pawn, then everything would be okay. But since now there's a pawn, the king can't be here, like always ready to step on the mind square if white steps on it. And now after king f2, he can't go here or here to be ready to step on, to go on the mind square. And he's forced to capture. And now he just stepped on a mind square. And after this, it is Zugzwang, and the pawn will be lost and the game will be over. Now here I will show you another position from a game, and this is very instructive, very interesting position. In this, the position now is equal, but white sets a last trap, which unexpectedly succeeds. Here, after bishop d1, the correct move would be king here, with the idea of pushing and trading the last pawn, or even just going into the corner and getting a draw because the bishop is of the wrong color. For those who don't understand why, the bishop, if it would be black square, then there is a chance to promote a pawn. But since it's white squared and the corner where the pawn can promote is black, So it's a draw if the bishop is white squared. If it's black squared and it can protect that square and get the king out of the corner, then you can win. But in this case, not. And then it would have been a draw, like pushing here or going to the corner. But black thought, oh, well, I will play king h4, going for the draw immediately. I mean, why should I, play for 10 or 15 extra minutes? Especially if this game was going, on for many hours. Why should I play on extra? I can just go here and attack the pawn, and then push my pawn, and he will move his bishop, and I will push my pawn, and it will be a draw. But after king f5, now the Mine Square, I guess, this is not that easy, but the Mine Square is h4, but it's not immediately when he steps on it. But king h4, after king h4, it's already losing. So now, since he had stepped on the Mine Square, king f5, and takes, and now it is zugzwang, and the pawn will be lost, and white will promote.
So this is like future Mine Square, right?
Yeah.
So you need to know those terms and those concepts in your mind, and when you go, don't just think about material or
Here you were up 2 points of material, and it goes down to equal, but you win because you will take the pawn and promote.
Yeah, you sacrifice the bishop, but you take the pawn and promote, and you have a queen.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very good lesson. So don't step on Mine Squares or you will blow up. Explode. So for those who don't know AKERAS yet and want to know more about AKERAS is the strongest chess prodigy in United States. He showed 1,000 points growth just in 1 year. He is still the highest rated in kids age group in United States.
Even though I'm not playing for a whole year?
Even though he's not playing in tournaments for 1 year. So you want to know what happened to AKERAS, what's going on. We will provide everything in a description or in the comments.
I will be doing a series of teaching pawn endgames probably for a week and lots of other endgames. So if you want to learn endgames, which are very important for beginners, advanced players, and even strong level players, even masters, endgames are very important. And you can play the opening good, middle game good, but if you play the end game bad, then all the work that you've done the whole game will just disappear. You might have a better end game, but if you don't know end games, it will be a draw or even maybe a loss if you step on a Mine Square. So I will be doing endgame series. If you want to get updates when I post lessons, I will be posting them daily. But subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I'll upload a new lesson.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. AKERAS.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Okay. Bye-bye.